You ready to go?
Name is Doug Norton. I am a docent here at the National Air and Space Museum downtown in Washington, D.C.
All right. We're going to do a quick tour through the museum. We'll hit the highlights of the Air and Space Museum. We can't see everything, but we'll do the highlights. It'll take about 90 minutes.
My principal objective is to do tours. We take people through the various artifacts of the museum. We help them understand the way in which aerospace has developed over the last several hundred years. We give them an opportunity to see things that they really can't see in many other places around the world.
Number two, if you have questions as we go through this tour, I encourage you to raise your hands. Let's ask questions. Yes, sir.
What is the name of this plane? What kind of plane is it?
This is a Boeing, they called it a Boeing World Cruiser.
Landed without wheels.
They skidded to a stop in the sand, basically.
This is not a hard job. It's a fun job, but it does encourage you to continually go back and learn more.
So this is a tricky question. How do we know we're looking at one star?
When I give a tour, I typically like to end up at the Apollo program and start at the Wright brothers. That gives me a way to point out that over just less than 66 years, we went from a flight that was 120 feet in 12 seconds to a flight all the way out to the moon and back in 10 days.
Let's see if you can make it into the observatory. Wow, nice shot, first try. Excellent. So
we usually set up the number of tours based upon how many people want to go do the tour. So we like to break our groups up into smaller sizes on the order of 20 to 25 people because that seems to fit best into the galleries.
In order to make this vehicle fly, we got to get lift, we got to get it off the ground, right?
We usually have 6 or 7 docents here who are available, and we'll divide those docents over the number of people we have in the museum at that particular time, and then we'll go off and start off the tour.
Can you walk around our Earth, please? So just walk around, make a circle. Awesome. Now, do you think this represents how far away the Earth is from the moon?
Well, I'm a volunteer. The Smithsonian has about 6,000 volunteers across the Smithsonian infrastructure. And in fact, we have more volunteers who work at the various museums than we have employees.
Who came the furthest? Anybody from overseas?
England.
England, okay.
Australia.
Australia. I always get an Australian on my tour. It happens every time. It's amazing.
It's important to begin to share some of these ideas with the younger people. Kids who come through here are looking for jobs. They're looking for the things they want to do when they grow up. One of the things I like to do and concentrate on is giving them an opportunity to see value and interest in aerospace. And that's one of the reasons you volunteer. It's a way to give back.
We call this an Einstein cross.
Well, passion is part of it, yeah. You love this stuff. I mean, these airplanes and these spacecraft are remarkable things. And it sort of encapsulates the history of the 20th century.
First time anybody flew an airplane across the United States, that vehicle.
Well, I hope the visitors had fun. I hope they enjoy the tour. I hope they got all their questions answered. And as a third thing, I hope they learned something, but really we're not, the real learning is going to be when they go away from the museum and continue to look at these things day by day after they've left.
So the first thing the Wright brothers did in 1899 was build a series of kites. This is a model of a kite they built in 1899. The object was to demonstrate you could get off the ground, obviously. But if they're interested, if they're inspired, they'll go off and chase it down, and that's a success. That makes the tour worthwhile.